Good evening, everyone. My name is Susan Jones, and I'm here to share with you a story about how a historical event has affected the life of one of my family members. For this assignment, I interviewed my uncle. He's actually my uncle by marriage. He's my stepfather's brother. He was born in 1920. His name is H. Raymond Cox. Soon after high school, he began working in the family tile business with my stepfather. They were very successful. When he was 21 years old, he proposed to his high school sweetheart, Beatrice. She accepted. They were engaged with plans to be married. He started working on a house. He wanted to make sure he had a house built by the time they got married. It was about that time that the United States became involved in World War II, and he received a draft notice from the U.S. Army. He had to put the wedding on hold, and the house wasn't quite finished. He reported to Camp Atterby, Indiana, on October the 16th, 1942. At that time, he received a prayer book. On the front it says, "Strength for service to God and country." It's a daily devotional. He said all of his friends were issued one, the same kind. Inside, though, it has a personal inscription to him. After the basic training, they were shipped over to Europe. He was in the 83rd Division, 329th Infantry. He said all the way over to Europe, they went by boat. Everyone who wasn't throwing up they were very quiet, in a state of prayer. All the boys were scared to death. They didn't know what to expect. They had heard horror stories. They were on their way to Normandy. They arrived about 2 weeks, I think he said about 2 weeks after the D-Day invasion, when so many lives had been lost. From Normandy, they traveled through Central Europe. They took part in the Battle of the Bulge. They were even responsible for freeing Jews from one of the prison camps. I asked, how did all of this affect you? And he said, well, it made me a brave man. When I left, I was scared to death. When I got there, I was scared to death. But when we finished, I was a brave man. I had a lot of new friends. We fought side by side, and we lost many. Upon his return home, there was a family reunion. Everyone was excited that he had survived. He even brought a couple of Army buddies home for the celebration. He couldn't figure out why Beatrice wasn't there, and then his sister told him. Beatrice had actually married the year before. He was quiet after mentioning that, so I tried to redirect the conversation and ask, how do you think that the war changed your life? Do you have any regrets? He said he only had a few regrets, but he had a lot of, even though there were bad memories, he had a lot of good memories. He had made a lot of lifelong friends. He returned in November of 1945. After that, he finished his house. Though he never lived in the house, he never married. He actually sold the house to his sister and her family, and then he lived in the basement. He doesn't really like to talk about Beatrice. I wanted to ask, what do you think if the war hadn't started? Would you have been married? Would you have children? but I didn't want to upset him. He's now 93, and he lives in a nursing home in Davidson County. He said that the one thing that he was glad that came out of this, once he returned home, he still worked in the family tile business. But he said that he and a few other friends helped to start programs to help disabled veterans, because so many that weren't killed were injured. He's a great man. He still has a very sharp mind, though his physical health has declined. And I'm proud that he fought and served our country, and I'm proud to call him my uncle. Thank you.